Hey, awesomes, welcome back. All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about Project 2. So I'll swing down here to week 3, as I'm sure you guys have already kind of figured this out. That each week I'll post a page, generally a folder with whatever resources we need, and then whatever is particularly due that week. Try to keep it as simple as possible, so there's not a bunch of things you got to click through to get to where you need. But obviously for this week, as we looked at in the last video, the week 3 overview video, we talked about Project 2. So I've linked it here for you as well. So the whole process here is to end up with, so let's just go right here real quick, a job advertisement, a cover letter, and a resume. I don't want to say it's that simple, but those are the three what we would call the deliverables. I like to think about putting these in one file. So if you use Google Docs or if you use Microsoft Word or whatever, put it all in one file. So page 1 and page 2, depending on how long the job description is, right? Be the first thing that you have, okay? So we want to think about putting together, finding the job. Okay, that's the first thing. And I was there used to be a transmittal memo part for this, and then as well as some of these dates. I realize that the version that I shared with you is not the one that was supposed to be shared with you, but anyway. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is choose a job advertisement. Maybe some of the things I recommend is to research the company and the organization before you draft the letter, before you draft the resume. But find the job ad, right? That is kind of like if there's one thing that you get done this week, find your job ad. And I would like for the job ad to be your what's that job that is going to encompass the skills, right? It's within your major. It's while you're going to school, right? If your end goal is to be a CEO, right? That might not be the first job, right? Perhaps that you apply to. So think about maybe what the first job may or may not look like. Management. Or if you're going into marketing, your first marketing job. If you're going into nursing, right? What does the first nursing job out of school perhaps look like? Find a job ad for that. If you're going into engineering, your goal might be to be a senior project engineering manager, or maybe you want to be a systems integrator at some point, right? And I don't want to discourage you from looking at those job ads too. Those are oftentimes very, very extremely beneficial for this process. So here's the overall deal. If I can kind of draw your attention back to the whole reason for the job application is to think about. So that's why I say a job or an internship that you would most likely apply to either now or in the future. So I'm giving you the kind of the option. So let's say that most of you guys taking this class, 3082, 3000 level class, so maybe you're close to graduating here in the next year or so. So first job might be that quote unquote entry level job, and perhaps maybe you prefer to look at what the actual, the big job that you want to get to. I'm okay with either one, kind of for the most part. I prefer you to kind of really think about what you're going to need sooner rather than later, because here's the goal of this project is obviously you're going to learn how to write a strong cover letter, learn how to put together and design a really, really, really strong resume that stands out, that doesn't look like everybody else's, right? Or makes the same mistakes as everybody else's. But more importantly, or just as important, is you're going to also learn about that job that you're heading to, right? The one that you're applying for. What are there any requirements maybe that while you still have time, is there something else? Maybe you need to do some volunteer work, or do you need to look at an internship? Maybe you already know that. But these are one of the other things is to help you think about planning for that job. What are some things that you need to be doing? So let's say that you do go look at the senior engineering project manager. And to get there, you need to have X, Y, and Z, right? And so that helps you think about things that you need to do today, right? Things that you want to be working towards, over that process or in that process to get there. So there's kind of like there's two or three things, 2 or 3 benefits from this particular assignment that I like a lot. Obviously, you'll learn how to write a good cover letter, which we'll talk more about. You'll learn how to put a strong, well-designed resume together, but you also learn a lot more, about the field that you're going into, perhaps some of the things maybe that you haven't looked at yet while you're getting the behind the scenes or some of the skills that are necessary for that. But it's always a good idea to actually look at the market, look at the job market for the discipline that you're going into, for the major that you're going into, the where your degree is applicable, right, to where you're going, those type of things. So it's kind of like we got several kind of things going on, to help you out and to be thinking about things that you may need to do, things that you may need to make sure that you are able to put for real on your resume, down the road. So this resume and this cover letter may not be exactly every single thing that you've done yet, right? There'll be some things that we'll need to think about, and those are the things that be like, those are the things I need to plan to do, right, and think about. So that gets you started. So again, biggest first thing is find the job ad that you think is the one that you want to apply for that's really going to help you either immediately out of school, quote unquote, more sooner rather than later, or the AHA job. Okay. And narrow that down and find and locate that and get that copied and pasted in so you can really start to analyze, look at that. And then we'll start talking about a little bit more later on in the week about researching that company, make sure that we understand everything that they're looking for, because you got to design a resume and a cover letter is going to be for every single job to which you apply. The days of well, you have to, on Indeed and stuff like that, got to really think about what you put on there, because they will force you to use one resume, and we'll talk more about that next week, how to make a resume that's going to cover all the things that you want to do, but then it also demonstrates and shows that you have a specialty, right? Shows that you have a concentrated focus. So sometimes that can be challenging. All right, my friends, thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great week. Sorry this video went a little bit long, but